Hey guys, it's Chris with Double Eagle Gunworks, and we're out here on the range today, and we're going to be talking about ammunition. We're going to be talking about the differences in case head shape and bullet shape, bullet weights, and it's all the different categories and factors that go into ammunition. So let's start off with the case shape. You're going to have a straight wall case, and this is a 22 long rifle. So it's just a straight walled case. So it just goes straight down from the bullet straight to the head of the case. The other type of case would be a bottleneck case. This one is a 357 SIG, and the case goes up and then it necks in a little bit there. So the bullet itself is smaller than the actual body of the case. So that's the two main case shapes that you'd be dealing with. The other types, as far as the case is concerned, would be a rimmed case and a rimless case. This 38 Special right here goes in a revolver, and most revolver ammunition is going to be a rimmed case. So when you take the wall of the case, it goes down, and then there is a rim right there that catches the cartridge as you're dropping it into the cylinder of the revolver. The other type of ammunition, which is used more in semi-autos, is a rimless case. The body of the case and the case head are all the same size, so as you come down, there's nothing that sticks out past the edge of the case wall for anything to catch on. But normally the rimless cases will have a groove around the bottom of it so that the extractor can grab onto that case head and pull it back out of the chamber once you fire the case, or fire the bullet. And speaking of bullets, let's go to bullet shape. Your normal bullet shapes are going to be a round nose like this 45 caliber bullet here. So it's just rounded over, and it's just a smooth, no edges on it. On this 9mm here, this is more of the truncated cone type shape. So it starts wide at the base, narrows back in, and then it's flat on the end. So that's your truncated cone. And then you also have some new types of ammunition. This one is a solid bullet that is cut to be kind of a star shape. And so when it goes out of the end of the barrel, it's spinning, so you've got, it's almost like a screw effect when it hits the target. And then another, this is still a truncated cone, but this one is a soft nose bullet. And then another one of the shapes that's kind of odd, this is a frangible bullet here, and this one is like a Hollowpoint, but it's a solid bullet, and it has grooves cut into it, and this kind of mean looking star shape at the end of it that when it hits something, all these little petals come off and spread out into the wound channel. So it's a very aggressive bullet. So your main shapes are round nose, truncated cone. It's the two main ones that are used nowadays. There's other ones that used to be more common, your wadcutter, semi-wadcutter, but you don't see those especially in semi-auto handguns as much. The wadcutter just would not work because it's a flat bullet. Looks more like a shotgun shell than it does a bullet for a handgun or rifle. And then the going along with the shape, you can also have a Hollowpoint bullet. So this one is kind of a round nose with a Hollowpoint. So it's kind of a combination of different things. And then with bullets, the bullets can either be a soft lead bullet, it can be a semi-jacketed soft nose bullet, it can be a semi-jacketed Hollowpoint, or a full metal jacket. So this 22 is just a soft nose lead bullet. There's nothing encasing the lead there other than maybe a little bit of paint, but that's the only thing on the that bullet. So it's just a soft lead bullet. Now this one is a different type of bullet. This one is a frangible bullet, and it's not made out of lead, but it's made out of a material that when it hits something hard, it just breaks apart. But it is a non-toxic bullet. And then your full metal jacket is just like this one here. The copper shell covers the whole end of the bullet. You can't see any lead sticking out. And then this one would be the semi-jacketed type bullet. So you've got the lead soft nose up there on the end of it, and then you see the copper jacket coming down as it goes into the brass case there. So you've got all those different types of shapes, and then whether they're jacketed or semi-jacketed or not jacketed at all. And then you've got the different calibers for ammunition, and we've kind of got them arranged here, going from smallest up to the bigger. So you start out with a 22 caliber bullet, and when you're measuring caliber, it is the diameter of the bullet. So if you take a cross section of this bullet and measure from side to side, then the diameter of it would be 0.22 inches. It's actually not a cross section, it would be a just cutting it through the thing rather than cutting it down the side. But anyway, the next size that we've got here is 9mm, and again it's the same thing, measures the diameter of the bullet, and the bullets are going to be measured in either inches like the 0.22 for a 22, or it's going to be measured in millimeters like the 9mm here. Typically your ones that are measured in inches were developed in the US, and bullets that are measured in millimeters were typically originally designed in European countries, because they do the metric system more than we do here. So you go from 22 up to 9mm, and then the bullets on the next couple are actually about the same size, or are the same size as a 9mm, but the case is a lot different. This one is a 38 special here, and the bullet on a 9mm and a 38 special are the same size. And this one is a 357 Magnum. The bullet is actually the same size as the 38 special and 9mm, but the case is a little bit longer. And so let's talk about that for a second. When you take a 38 special and a 357 Magnum and put them side by side, you can see that the 38 special is about 1/8 of an inch shorter than the 357 Magnum. And something else that we can look at on these two particular cases, this one is a brass case. That's the standard material that most manufacturers use for cartridges, but you can also get a steel case bullet, or steel case round, and the main difference is usually the steel is less expensive to manufacture, so it's going to be a less expensive round. But also, if you reload your own ammunition, you're not going to be able to reload a steel case like you can a brass case. The other option for case material is a brass that is nickel plated. so you have a shiny silver case rather than the brass case. So the next caliber that we're going up to is the 357 SIG, and the 357 SIG is the same size bullet as a 9mm. So they take a little bit bigger case, and this is one of those bottleneck cases. So you have the case that's about the same size as a 40 caliber or 10mm case, and then they neck it down to where it accepts a 9mm bullet. So this one has a little more punch than the standard 9mm because it can hold more powder. So it's going to be a more powerful round than your 9mm. And the last handgun cartridge that we've got on the table here is a 45 ACP. And the 45 is 0.45 inches in diameter, and it's the largest of the handgun ammunition that we've got out here, and it's a pretty potent round. Now, the other thing that you would want to look at when you're looking at ammunition is going to be your bullet weight. And typically on any ammunition that you buy, it's going to tell you what the caliber is. This is 9mm. It's going to tell you the weight of the bullet. This one is a 100 grain bullet, and it's also going to tell you about how fast it's supposed to go. So this one is rated to go at 1,250 feet per second, so which is about normal for a 9mm. So the bullet weights for a 22, which is that little one that we started with, is usually going to be in the neighborhood of 40 grains. So it's a fairly small, lightweight cartridge. And then going up to the 9mm, they're going to range anywhere from a 90 grain bullet up to about 145 grain bullet. And when we're talking about grains, it's just it's a measure of weight for the bullet itself. If you tried to measure that, there's 7,000 grains in 1 pound. So it's a very small unit of measure, but it's very accurate when you're measuring stuff like this. Okay, with 38 special and 357 ammunition, the bullet weight is normally going to be somewhere around 115 to about 158, 160 grains on the bullet weight. So it has a pretty good range there for bullet weights that are effective in 38 special and 357. For the 357 SIG, it's going to be the same kind of bullet weights that you would find in a 9mm. It's going to be around 115 up to 140, 145 grain bullet. And then for the 45 ACP, the standard bullet weight for a 45 is 230 grains, and that's what you see most of the time for 45s, but it can drop back down a little bit as well and go to more like a 200, just a little bit lower than the 230. But typically for most 45s, you're going to find a 230 grain bullet. Okay guys, when you're looking at a box of ammunition and trying to figure out whether it is going to work with your handgun or not, you want to look at the label that's going to be on the end of the box, and it's going to tell you the information that you need to know. This one is a 357 SIG cartridge, and then it's a 125 grain bullet, and it's a full metal jacket. So you can look at all those abbreviations there, and as long as your caliber matches what your gun says it is, if you look on the barrel, normally it will tell you what caliber the gun is, and then the grain weight can vary some depending on what the ammunition is, but with a 357 SIG, it's going to be somewhere between 115 to 140 grain bullet. And then your the abbreviation there at the end, this one's a full metal jacket. It could either be full metal jacket, it could be semi-jacketed hollow points, or it could just be a solid bullet like we were talking about with some of the other cartridges that we showed, and it would be a frangible bullet or a solid copper bullet that might be scored to where it would break up a little bit easier when it hits your target. So always make sure that the ammo box matches what your gun says as well. Okay, thanks for watching part 1 of the seminar here on ammunition. Be sure to check out the links below to see parts 2 and 3 for the rifle ammunition and for shotgun ammunition. So check out those links. Go to our website, doubleeaglegunworks.com, and you can check out some blogs that we've got on there as well on ammunition. And if you like the video, like and subscribe down at the bottom, and we'll see you next time.